In the heart of Eldoria, where ancient trees rose like titanic spires and rivers shimmered with a mystical hue rarely seen by mortal eyes, a delicate veil separated the mundane from the enchanted. The land was both a sanctuary and a labyrinth, its mysteries woven into the very fabric of the gentle breezes that caressed its emerald expanses. It was here, amidst whispering woods and forgotten paths, that our tale commenced. A figure emerged from the twilight mist, cloaked in a mantle, the color of midnight. Elara had journeyed far from her village, driven by dreams that were not her own. Her steps were guided by visions of a relic from the First Age, the Starfire Scepter, a talisman of unparalleled power, said to weave the fates of empires. Its last known resting place was the ruins of Zephyria, a citadel swallowed by time and shadow, where echoes of the ancient Eldoran Empire still lingered. Elara's heart pounded with purpose and trepidation. She was an orphan of the Crimson Wars, raised in the hamlet of Elendor. The elders spoke in hushed tones of the power struggles that tethered the land to its past, each faction vying to rekindle the glory of Eldoria's golden days, or to forge anew in the crucible of chaos. The Starfire Scepter was her beacon, a chance to rewrite destiny, to breathe hope into the hearts of the suffering. As she ventured deeper into the woodlands, a rustle disturbed her path. Elara unsheathed her dagger, its blade catching fleeting glints of moonlight. A pair of eyes, as blue as the summer sky and as cold as the winter's breath, appeared through the foliage. It was a man, tall and enigmatic, his presence exuding an aura of both grace and danger. Who crosses the threshold of the Sylvani glade? His voice was a low rumble, a storm waiting to unleash. Elara steadied herself, meeting his gaze with determination. I am Elara of Elendor. My quest is for the Starfire Scepter. Stand aside if you're not my foe. The stranger chuckled, a sound like rough stones rolling. Few tread this path with intentions as noble. I am Kael, once a guardian of these lands, now wandering like the rest of my kin. His expression softened, though his stance remained cautious. The scepter's pull is felt by many. Beware, for its allure is bound to the heart's deepest desires. Their eyes locked, a silent understanding, forged in the quiet void between trust and suspicion. Kael's knowledge was a boon Elara could ill afford to ignore. They traveled together, their alliance tenuous yet necessary. As dawn broke over the canopy, they approached the edges of the Zephyrian ruins. Vines blanketed the ancient stones, their grandeur marred by centuries of neglect. Elara and Kael stepped into the desolate courtyard, where pillars, toppled like fallen giants, littered the ground. Suddenly, the air crackled with energy. A soft hum resonated through the ruins, growing into a deafening crescendo. The duo drew their weapons, eyes scanning for unseen threats. From the shadows emerged a creature of nightmare, a Drakenwraith, its scales shimmering like obsidian, eyes gleaming with malevolent intelligence. This is no ordinary guardian, Kael warned, his voice taut with urgency. Elara, her heart a drumbeat of resolve, summoned the latent magic within. A flame of azure light crackled to life in her palm. Her voice, a siren's call, imbued the spell with strength. Together, they fought amidst flying rubble and tendrils of shadow, their attacks synchronized with unspoken synergy. The battle raged, fierce and unyielding. As the wraith lunged, Kael deflected its talons with a deft parry, while Elara struck with her fiery incantations. The creature staggered, its form flickering like an ember caught in the wind, but it was not defeated. In a moment of perilous clarity, Elara leapt onto a crumbling ledge, her senses alight with the pulse of the scepter's magic. Kael, the scepter's energy, it can seal away the wraith. Hold it at bay. With a nod, Kael redoubled his efforts, engaging the beast in a deadly dance. Elara's fingers brushed ancient stone, tracing glyphs etched in a language lost to time. Her voice rose in a chant, the words foreign yet instinctively known. Light blazed from the stones, enveloping the courtyard. The Drakenwraith let out a harrowing shriek, its form consumed by the radiant glow. Then, silence. The ruins stood undisturbed once more, save for the heavy breaths of the victorious pair. Elara retrieved a shard of the Starfire Scepter, its mere fragment pulsing with immense power. Yet, the victory was bittersweet. The full scepter remained elusive, and with it, the true path to salvation. Kael approached, his expression a mixture of admiration and unease. You've awakened something greater than us, Elara. The factions will feel this tremor across Eldoria. She nodded, resolve hardening her features. Then we must tread carefully. Darkness stirs in the forgotten corners of our world, but the light we possess is not without its cost. Unbeknownst to them, deep within the ruined halls, shadows coalesced around a forgotten throne. Eyes like embers flickered to life, a smile curling upon lips long untouched by breath. The ancient power stirred, the first of many echoes yet to come. Heart, Elara, and Kael emerged from the Zephyrian ruins with a palpable urgency, each step carrying the weight of newfound purpose, tempered by the harrowing battle they had just survived. The air was charged with anticipation, the very atmosphere buzzing with the resonance of their actions. The shard of the Starfire Scepter, though merely a fragment, thrummed like a heartbeat against Elara's chest. Their path wound through dense forest and across ancient bridges, where the scars of bygone wars marred the landscape. Eldoria was a land of contrasts, beauty and ruin intertwined over centuries of forgotten peace and relentless conflict. Every village they passed bore tales of oppression by the tyrannical dominion of Ash, whose grasp stretched across the continent, suffocating hope with an iron fist. As they traveled, Kael shared stories of the Guardians, noble warriors sworn to protect Eldoria's sanctity. But even as he spoke of honor and duty, a shadow crossed his eyes, a hint of betrayal and loss that Elara dared not probe. Their journey took them to the bustling market town of Arvindale, where merchants hawked exotic wares and children wove through crowds with laughter on their lips. The scent of fresh breads and spiced meats hung in the air, a welcome respite from the hardships of the road. Elara moved through the throng with purpose, her eyes scanning for allies who might aid in their quest. Her gaze fell upon a tent guarded by two formidable figures whose tattoos marked allegiance to the Circle of Dawn, an order of mages rumored to possess knowledge of relics and runes. Inside, the tent was dimly lit by floating orbs of light, casting soft glows on shelves lined with tomes and artifacts. Seated at the center was a woman, her presence commanding, her eyes sharp as a hawk's. She introduced herself as Seraphina, Archmage of the Circle. "We seek counsel, and perhaps an alliance," Elara began, her voice steady despite the tension simmering beneath her words. Seraphina regarded them with a measured gaze, her fingers tapping rhythmically against a crystal orb. The Starfire Scepter is a perilous ambition. Its power has been the downfall of many. And yet it may be the salvation of Eldoria, Kael interjected, his tone resolute. Intrigued, Seraphina leaned forward, her eyes narrowing slightly. If what you say is true, and if you indeed possess part of the scepter, the balance of power teeters on a knife's edge. There are factions who will stop at nothing to seize its might for themselves. Elara met her gaze, unfaltering. Then will you aid us? The Dominion's grasp tightens with each passing day, and innocence suffers beneath its heel. For a moment, silence reigned, thick with anticipation. Seraphina studied them both, as if weighing the weight of their hearts. Finally, she rose, her silhouette framed by the glow of the floating lights. The circle shall aid you. Travel north, to the Vale of Whispers. There, amidst the tombs of old, lies an ancient library where the secrets of the scepter may yet unfold. But beware, others have set their sights upon its mysteries. Grateful, Elara and Kael departed, their course set. Yet as they left Arvindale, a chill wind swept through the square, carrying with it whispers of a gathering storm. As night descended upon their camp, Elara stood watch beside the fire, her thoughts a tumult of hope and dread. Kael approached, his expression pensive. "Do you trust them?" he asked, breaking the silence. "I must," Elara replied quietly. "The Circle's motives may be enigmatic, but their knowledge is indispensable. Yet, the shard, its power grows with each passing day. I worry about what it may awaken within me." Kael placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "We will face it together, whatever may come." Suddenly, a rustle from the underbrush drew their attention. From the shadows emerged a figure, cloaked and hooded, with eyes that glimmered gold like molten metal. "You hold a piece of what was mine," the stranger spoke, their voice a silken whisper. "The Starfire Scepter belongs to Eldoria, and yet I could help you wield its strength." Before Elara could respond, Kael's blade was drawn, its edge gleaming ominously. "State your intentions," he commanded, his stance protective. The stranger chuckled, unperturbed. "My intentions are aligned with yours, young ones. To free this land from tyranny. I am Lyra, keeper of forgotten truths. Let us be allies. For the moment." The revelation sent ripples through Elara's mind. An unexpected ally, with enigmatic intentions and knowledge shrouded in mystery. She nodded, cautiously optimistic. "Join us then. But know this, we walk a path fraught with peril." Lyra's eyes gleamed with an unreadable light, as if she held secrets deeper than the night sky. "Fear not. The tapestry of fate is woven with many threads, and ours are destined to intertwine." As the fire crackled softly between them, the trio stood beneath a sky crowded with stars, each celestial light a silent witness to the vows of hope and defiance forged in the shadow of impending doom. Unbeknownst to them, across the lands of Eldoria, forces moved unseen in the dark, preparing to reshape the world in the crucible of their ambitions. Art. With Lyra now a tenuous ally, Elara, Kael, and their enigmatic companion set their sights on the Vale of Whispers, where, according to Seraphina, the secrets of the Starfire Scepter lay hidden among the ancient library's forgotten tomes. The road north was fraught with dangers both known and unseen, and the weight of their mission pressed upon them with each passing day. The Vale itself was a place of eerie beauty, where mist clung to the ground like a living shroud, and the air was thick with the scent of damp earth and ancient stones. As they approached the library, a sprawling structure carved into the side of a mountain, they could sense the latent energy thrumming beneath the surface, a silent reminder of the knowledge stored within. Inside, The library was a labyrinth of towering shelves and shadowed alcoves, where echoes of footsteps long past seemed to linger in the air. Lyra led them with a confidence that belied the maze-like structure, her fingers trailing along spines of leather-bound books and scrolls, as if seeking a long-lost friend. As they delved deeper into the library, Elara felt a strange pull drawing her toward a particular section. The books there were ancient, their titles inscribed in an archaic script, and as she reached for one, a voice, soft and distant, like the murmur of a forgotten river, echoed in her mind. The past is but prologue, child of destiny. Seek the keeper of shadows, for only through the night can light be reborn. Startled, Elara withdrew her hand, her heart pounding in her chest. Lyra, noticing her reaction, turned with a knowing look. The library speaks to those who listen. It seems you have been granted a revelation. But what does it mean? Elara asked, her voice tinged with uncertainty. The Keeper of Shadows is a figure of myth, Kael interjected, his brow furrowed in thought. Some say he was the last guardian of the Starfire Scepter before it was lost to time. Lyra nodded. Indeed, and if he yet lives, he resides in the cursed lands beyond the Ember Mountains, where no sane being dares tread. Elara clenched her fists, determination flaring in her eyes. Then that is where we must go. Yet, just as resolve settled over the group, a commotion echoed through the library, an intrusion that shattered the quiet. From the shadows emerged a band of marauders, their eyes gleaming with avarice, weapons drawn and ready. Kael stepped forward, his blade an extension of his will. We're not alone, it seems. Stand ready. With a battle cry, the marauders charged, their intent clear, to seize the power they sensed within the library's ancient walls. Elara and Lyra joined the fray, their magic arcing through the air in vibrant hues, meeting steel and bone with equal ferocity. A library became a battleground, where knowledge and chaos clashed in a dance of destruction. Shelves toppled and emptied pause. The echoes of the battle within the library faded into memories, leaving behind a silence charged with the weight of unspoken truths. Elara, Kael, and Lyra stood amidst the debris, their breaths ragged, bodies marked by skirmish and sorcery. Each had glimpsed the stubborn tenacity of their foes and the peril their quest truly entailed. As the morning sun filtered through the library's shattered windows, casting latticework shadows upon the remnants of ancient knowledge, a frail scroll caught Elara's eye. Its vellum was worn, inscribed with a map that once unraveled revealed a passage leading beyond the Ember Mountains, into the heart of the cursed lands. With this new discovery, the trio prepared for their journey, one that would take them through landscapes steeped in legend and dread. The Ember Mountains loomed like sentinels on the horizon, their peaks kissed by perpetual storms that danced with lightning's fury. The path was treacherous, the ascent demanding more than physical endurance. It required a resolve, tempered by fire, and an unwavering faith in the bonds forged by shared purpose. As they climbed, Elara felt the shard of the scepter grow heavier against her chest, its latent power humming with anticipation. The mountains gave way to a desolate vista, a land where the very air was thick with malevolent magic, twisting perceptions and warping reality. Here, shadows moved with a will of their own, and the ground itself seemed to breathe with a languid, poisonous life. Lyra's eyes sparkled with an unreadable intensity. The cursed lands are not for the faint of heart. Here, even the bravest have met their end. Kael's hand hovered over his sword, a warrior's instinct ready to protect. Then let us ensure we are not counted among them. As they ventured deeper, the land responded to their presence with a symphony of whispers, half-formed words that seemed to dance on the edge of hearing, threatening to unravel sanity. In this place, the past was a living specter, and Elara could feel its chill upon her skin. Days bled into each other as they navigated this forlorn realm, their path illuminated only by the pale luminescence of unfamiliar stars. And then, as if summoned by their tenacity, a figure emerged from the swirling mists, a silhouette against the eternal dusk. He was tall, draped in robes that seemed to merge with the shadows, his face obscured by the hood pulled low. Yet his eyes shone with a light reminiscent of moons long forgotten. This was Xerath, the Keeper of Shadows, a name both whispered in reverence and dread. "You seek what should not be found," his voice intoned, a resonant echo that vibrated through their bones. Elara stepped forward, her heart aflame with determination. "We seek the truth. The Starfire Scepter must be restored, to free Eldoria from tyranny." Xerath regarded her, the weight of ages reflected in his gaze. "In seeking the scepter, you set foot upon a path of peril. Desire can blind even the purest of hearts." Lyra, ever perceptive, stepped forward. "Can you guide us, Keeper? Or will you stand as our adversary?" A silence stretched, taut and crackling, before Xerath gestured toward a distant structure, a spire of obsidian rising from the earth like a talon grasping for the sky. "Within the obsidian tower, your answers await. But beware, for its corridors are lined with trials of spirit and strength." The journey to the tower was fraught with trials of its own. Tempests rose from nowhere, shrieking winds and ice-laden air, testing their every step. But together they persevered, driven by the urgency of their quest and the unyielding hope that had blossomed between them. Inside the tower, the air was charged with an ancient energy, a relic of the power that once shaped empires. The walls were adorned with sigils that pulsed with light, casting eerie shadows that flickered and danced like living beings. The trials within were as much a test of resolve as of prowess. Illusions conjured specters of doubt, phantoms of past failures, that sought to ensnare their minds. But through unity and sheer will, they overcame, pushing ever onward toward the heart of the tower. There, in a chamber suffused with a faint, radiant glow, they found the truth. The Starfire Scepter lay shattered, its pieces scattered across dimensions, its magic bound to those who dared to claim it. Elara approached a dais where a single piece rested, its light casting patterns on her face. As she reached for it, a vision cascaded through her mind, a world reborn, a land healed from scars of strife, and the faces of her friends, bound by a legacy of hope. But visions turned to shadows, a reminder that with great power came great sacrifice. The echoes of those who had fallen whispered warnings, leaving Elara with a choice that would shape the future. Emerging from the tower, the trio stood united, their hearts entwined by the trials faced, and the bond cemented through adversity. As they descended from the cursed peaks, a new dawn greeted them, the first rays of hope piercing the gloom that had long shrouded Eldoria. Yet, as they journeyed back toward the lands they called home, the winds whispered of a gathering storm, one that would test the strength of their convictions and the resilience of their spirits. The Starfire Scepter's pull, was not yet finished with them, and the true challenge lay in the shadows yet to come. The return journey from the cursed lands was a race against the inexorable tide of fate. Every crevice and shadow a potential harbinger of danger. The very earth seemed to pulse in rhythm with the power they now carried, a fragment of the Starfire Scepter that sang with a voice both beautiful and terrible. Its will merged with Elara's, guiding her through visions and whispers, as though the relic itself held consciousness. The trio, Elara, Kael, and Lyra, pressed forward, their path taking them back through the Ember Mountains and into the lands of Eldoria. Yet the world they returned to was not as they had left it. The dominion of Ash, relentless in its pursuit of power, had extended its influence like a dark wave cresting over the horizon. Reports from passing travelers spoke of villages isolated by fear, allies silenced by treachery, and the land itself twisted into subservience. It was clear that the Dominion's hand was both far-reaching and insidious. Tyranny's tendrils strangled hope, and only the scepter's restoration could sever them. Their journey led them to the thriving city of Valenwyn, where the echoes of rebellion stirred beneath the surface like a sleeping dragon. Here, in the heart of Eldoria's resistance, allies awaited. Among them was Kieran, a charismatic leader with eyes that danced with the fire of revolution. His greeting was warm, but laced with urgency, for the time to act was nigh. "The Dominion knows of your quest," Kieran warned, his voice low yet fervent. "Their spies are everywhere. We must tread carefully." Elara nodded, her resolve unwavering. "The Starfire Scepter is our only chance. Kieran, we need to unite the factions, to bring forth the strength of the Forgotten Legions." Kieran's gaze flickered with understanding, his mind already weaving strategies from the threads of their words. "Then let us summon them. The time has come to gather the storm." In the days that followed, messengers were dispatched to the farthest reaches of Eldoria, carrying the call to arms. One by one, factions emerged from the shadows. Warriors of the hidden tribes, mages of the Circle of Dawn, and even defectors from the Dominion's own ranks, eager to reclaim their honor. Valenwyn became a beacon of defiance, its streets alive with the rhythm of preparation. Blacksmiths hammered steel into blades that gleamed like silver under the moonlight, while mages inscribed runes of protection and power upon armor and flesh alike. Yet, amidst the clamor of impending war, Elara felt the weight of destiny settle upon her shoulders. The scepter's fragment thrummed with an urgency that transcended time, its whispers a constant murmur at the edge of her thoughts. On the eve of battle, she sought solace upon the city's battlements, the stars above a tapestry of eternal witness. It was there that Kael found her, his presence a steady anchor in the tumult of uncertainty. "Do you believe we can succeed?" he asked, his voice a quiet undertone to the night's symphony. Elara turned, her eyes reflecting the cosmos above. "We must. It is not just our lives, but the soul of Eldoria we're fighting for." Kael gave a nod, his hand reaching to clasp her shoulder. "No matter the outcome, we stand together." As dawn broke, the armies assembled, a formidable force united by shared dreams of freedom. At their head stood Elara, her eyes alight with a fierce, unyielding determination. The scepter's fragment pulsed against her chest, its power thrumming through her veins like liquid fire. The Dominion's forces, vast and disciplined, awaited them across the plains, a sea of armored soldiers, and siege engines that glinted in the morning sun. The tension was palpable, the air thick with the promise of violence. And then, with a cry that echoed through the ages, the battle commenced. The two forces clashed like titans, the ground shaking beneath their feet as steel met steel, and magic sizzled through the air in dazzling arcs. Elara fought with a skill honed by trials and tempered by resolve, her spells weaving through the chaos like threads of fate. Kael was a whirlwind at her side, his blade a blur of silver lightning. Lyra, with her own sorcery, summoned illusions that bewildered their foes and turned the tide of skirmishes. Yet, even as they pressed forward, the Dominion's might was relentless, their numbers seemingly endless. In the heart of the fray, Elara felt the scepter's fragment pulse with a desperation mirroring her own. Then, as if in response to her silent plea, the scepter's power flared, a beacon that cut through the din of battle. From the horizon, a new force emerged, led by a figure draped in shadows and light. It was Zareth, the Keeper of Shadows, accompanied by a host of spectral warriors, their presence tipping the scales. With renewed vigor, Elara and her allies pressed the advantage, driving the Dominion's forces into disarray. The battle raged, fierce and unyielding, until at last the tide turned irrevocably. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the land in golden hues, victory was claimed by the brave and the defiant. The Dominion's hold had been shattered, its survivors scattered like ashes before the wind. Yet even amidst the celebration, a solemn truth lingered. The struggle was not yet over. The scepter's power remained an enigma, its destiny intertwined with the fate of Eldoria itself. But for now, under the twilight sky, hope flickered anew, a promise of a dawn yet to come, and the enduring spirit of a land reborn. As the embers of battle cooled, and the night embraced its victories, the echoes of triumph melded with the somber realization of what lay ahead. Eldoria, though freed from the immediate grip of the Dominion, was a realm scarred by conflict and in dire need of healing. The Starfire Scepter's fragment, still nestled against Elara's heart, pulsed with a gentle insistence, a reminder of unfinished business and the power yet untapped. In the aftermath, Valenwyn became a sanctuary for those seeking refuge and purpose. Its cobbled streets hummed with life and the murmur of rebuilding. The city, a haven amidst turmoil, drew figures from across the land, each with their own stories, hopes, and dreams. One such figure was Arion, a bard whose music transcended mere melody, weaving enchantments that buoyed the weary and inspired the downtrodden. His arrival was marked by a song that danced through the air like a living thing, touching hearts with its clarity and gentleness. His eyes, the azure of distant seas, held secrets that seemed to beckon Elara, with promises of knowledge yet undiscovered. "Your song carries magic, Arion," Elara remarked one evening, as they gathered by a hearth. "It speaks of places I've only seen in dreams." Arion inclined his head, a smile playing upon his lips. "Songs are threads in the great tapestry of life, revealing truths hidden in shadows. And it is said that the Starfire Scepter can tune the symphony of the world to a new harmony." Kael, ever vigilant, turned his gaze toward the bard. "Then why aid us, Arion? What brings you to our side?" Arion's expression grew thoughtful, his gaze momentarily distant. "I seek the echoing vale, where the scepter's true power might be realized. Legends speak of its harmonics, a place where the world's pulse aligns with the cosmos. It is there that the scepter can be whole again." Thus a new quest was born, one that would take them across new lands and into the heart of Eldoria's mysteries. With the blessings of Kirin and the newfound allies in Valenwyn, Elara, Kael, Lyra, and Arion set forth on a journey fraught with both hope and peril. Their path led them through the Whispering Woods, a realm where the trees spoke in hushed tones, and the very leaves seemed to shimmer with life. Here the land was a tapestry of verdant greens and soft shadows, a sanctuary for creatures both mystical and mundane. Yet the woods were not without their guardians. As they traversed the winding paths, a creature of elegance and danger emerged, a sylvan wolf, its fur the color of moonlight, eyes glowing with an ancient intelligence. It was known among the forest folk as Fenril, guardian of the Whispering Woods. The wolf regarded them with a piercing gaze, its presence both awe-inspiring and fearsome. Lyra, with her natural grace, stepped forward to meet the challenge. She whispered to the creature in a language older than time, her voice a melody of understanding and reverence. A truce was struck, and Fenril, with a nod that seemed almost human, joined their journey, its allegiance a silent promise as they moved deeper into the heart of the woods. Days stretched into weeks as the companions crossed landscapes of stunning beauty and hidden danger. They encountered enchanted streams that sang with the laughter of nymphs, and mountains that cradled the sky, their peaks lost in a sea of clouds. Yet not all was serene. The shadows of the Dominion still lingered, their reach long and their vengeance unyielding. Agents of the fallen power, driven by desperation and a hunger for retribution, trailed the group like phantoms. Skirmishes erupted with alarming frequency, each battle a test of skill and endurance. In the heart of a storm, where the sky cracked with the fury of unleashed elements, they faced one such encounter. Their enemies, clad in the Dominion's blackened armor, fought with a ferocity born of desperation. But as steel clashed and magic flared, Arion's voice rose above the tumult, a song of valor and defiance that turned the tide. With the last of their foes vanquished, Arion addressed Elara with somber eyes. The song calls to you, Elara, as it once called to the ancients. You are more than a seeker of relics. The scepter's song is your own. Elara absorbed his words, her heart resonating with the truth of them. With each step, she could feel the world's rhythm aligning with her own, the scepter's fragment a conduit for something greater. As they emerged from the storm's aftermath into a tranquil valley, their destination lay before them. The echoing veil unfurled like a dream, a place where the air shimmered with iridescent light and the very ground hummed with the universe's song. Here, amidst standing stones and crystalline pools, Arion revealed another truth. The veil was a nexus, a place where the scepter could be restored, its shards united to sing a new era into being. Yet, as they prepared for the final rite, a foreboding presence swept over the veil. From the shadows emerged a figure clad in the regalia of the Dominion, a commander whose eyes burned with ambition's fire. You carry the hope of Eldoria, but hope alone cannot defeat destiny, she declared, her voice carrying the weight of prophecy. The veil shivered under the weight of her words as the final challenge rose, a confrontation that would decide the fate of all. As the shadows deepened, Elara and her companions steeled themselves for the trial ahead, ready to face the echoes of eternity and the whispers of a new dawn. The air in the echoing vale was thick with anticipation, each breath drawn resonating with the promise of monumental change. The standing stones, relics of an ancient era, seemed to pulse with their own rhythm, a silent witness to the pivotal moments unfurling before them. Before Elara and her companions stood Commander Selene, her eyes alight with the burning ambition of the Dominion's last hope. Her presence was a storm cloud across the Vale's tranquility, a shadow cast by the dying embers of tyranny. "You stand at a crossroads, Elara," Selene intoned, her voice both a warning and a challenge. "The power you seek is not yours alone to wield. It is a flame that can consume as easily as it can illuminate." Elara felt the weight of Selene's words, the scepter's fragment thrumming against her chest like a second heartbeat. "We seek not dominion, but renewal. Eldoria deserves its chance to heal, to be free." Selene's lips curled into a rueful smile, her sword gleaming ominously in the Vale's ethereal light. "Then prove it, if you can." The battle that ensued was a dance on the edge of eternity, where magic and steel sang a deadly duet. Elara's spells crackled with azure fire, clashing against Selene's formidable defenses, each exchange a testament to strength and resolve. Lyra wove illusions that danced around their foes, while Kael's blade cut a path through the encroaching shadows. Fenrir, the sylvan wolf, moved with primal agility, its growls a harmony to the discord of battle. Yet it was Arion's voice that turned the tide, a song that rose like a phoenix from the ashes, weaving courage and hope into the hearts of those who fought beside him. His melody intertwined with Elara's magic, creating a symphony that resonated across the Vale. Amidst the chaos, Selene's defenses faltered, her eyes widening in disbelief as Elara's resolve crystallized into an unbreakable force. The scepter's fragment, responding to its destined bearer, unleashed a radiant light that washed over the Vale, silencing the din of conflict. Selene fell to her knees, the fight leaving her eyes as she beheld the light's purity. "Perhaps I was wrong," she whispered, her voice a fragile thread in the stillness. With Selene's surrender, the shadows of the Dominion began to recede, their grip finally broken. The Vale, once shrouded in uncertainty, now glowed with the promise of rebirth. Elara, guided by the scepter's song, approached the center of the Vale, where a great stone dais awaited. Here, in the heart of Eldoria's magic, she placed the scepter's fragment. Its light merged with the lands, a beacon that reached beyond the heavens. The standing stones resonated with a harmonious hum, their ancient magic awakening as the scepter reformed. It rose from the dais, whole and resplendent, its power weaving through the air like a symphony of starlight. A vision unfurled before Elara's eyes, a tapestry of the past, present, and future. She saw Eldoria healed, its lands flourishing beneath the light of a new dawn. The echoes of war faded, replaced by the laughter of children and the songs of peace. But the vision also bore the weight of sacrifice and duty, a reminder that the path of hope was not without its trials. Elara felt the scepter's presence as both guide and guardian, its will intertwined with her own. As the light subsided, her companions gathered around, their eyes mirroring the hope that shone in her own. "The scepter is whole," Kael murmured, awe and relief mingling in his voice. Arion approached, his gaze steady, and filled with an understanding beyond his years. "The song is yours, Elara. Let it guide you, for you are its voice." With the scepter in hand, Elara felt the weight of destiny settle upon her shoulders, a mantle not of burden, but of purpose. The path before them was bright and clear, the threads of fate woven into a pattern that promised renewal. The journey back to Valenwyn was a celebration of victory and newfound unity. The city welcomed them as heroes, its people eager to embrace the future Elara and her companions had fought to secure. Yet, even as festivities unfolded around her, Elara knew that her journey was far from over. The scepter's song was a call to action, a pledge to safeguard the light they had rekindled. And while the Dominion had been vanquished, its remnants still lingered in corners of the world untouched by change. In the days that followed, the alliances forged in battle blossomed into a council, a unity of Eldoria's diverse factions. Together, they worked to heal the land, driven by a shared vision of peace and prosperity. Elara stood among them, her heart intertwined with the song of the scepter. She was no longer just a seeker of relics, but a shepherd of hope, her resolve a beacon for those who dreamed of a brighter tomorrow. With the land renewed and her companions at her side, Elara set her sights on the horizons yet untamed. The echoes of Eldoria whispered of tales untold, and adventures yet to come, a promise of discovery and wonder waiting beyond the sunrise. And as the first light of dawn painted the heavens in hues of gold and lavender, Elara embraced the journey, her spirit a melody woven into the eternal song of destiny. The days following the reunification of the Starfire Scepter were filled with rejuvenation. As Eldoria slowly blossomed into the vision of peace that had been glimpsed in the Veil's ethereal light. The factions, once disparate, now worked together to mend both land and kin, weaving harmony from threads of former discord. Yet amidst the celebrations, a murmur of unease stirred, a whisper of ancient secrets left dormant far too long. It was a call that reached Elara in the quiet hours of twilight, where the boundary between the mundane and the magical blurred into a silken tapestry of mystery. The source of this disturbance was a letter, delivered by a falcon cloaked in the brilliance of dawn. Its parchment was worn, edges tinged with a golden sheen that spoke of enchantments beyond the ordinary. The letter bore the seal of the Solstice Keep, an ancient bastion at the edge of Eldoria's borders, and its message was a plea for aid. "Shadows awaken beneath the sun's zenith," it read, the words as much a riddle as a cry for help. "Come swiftly, or darkness will eclipse our light." Elara felt the weight of the message settle over her like a mantle, its urgency undeniable. With the scepter's song still resonating within her, she gathered her companions, Kael, Lyra, and Arion, each ready to face whatever lay ahead. Their journey to Solstice Keep led them through landscapes untouched by time, where wildflowers bloomed in riotous colors beneath azure skies. The air was fragrant with the scent of possibility, each step a note in the symphony of the world's rebirth. The keep itself rose like a crown upon the horizon, its spires glinting with the reflection of the sun's embrace. Yet as they drew closer, an unsettling shadow fell across the land, an anomaly of darkness that veiled the keep in an ominous shroud. The keep's steward, a venerable sage named Thalion, greeted them with a gravity that belied the realm's vibrant exterior. His eyes, though weary, held the spark of hope that had summoned them. "We are besieged not by armies, but by shadows cast by our own sun," Thalion explained, his voice a soft rumble like distant thunder. "The solstice stone, a relic of unfathomable power, has been disturbed. Its energies, once a beacon of light, now threaten to unravel the balance." Elara exchanged glances with her companions, the weight of another quest shaping their resolve. "What must be done to restore the balance?" she asked, the scepter's light a comforting presence against her side. Thalion led them to the heart of the keep, where the solstice stone rested within, a chamber of polished marble and intricate mosaics. Its surface pulsed with a cadence like a heartbeat, its light dimmed and fractured. The stone is attuned to the cycles of our world, Thalion continued. To mend its rift, one must journey to the shrouded isle, where the sun and moon lie entwined, and realign the celestial forces. The journey to the shrouded isle was fraught with challenges, the path winding through thickets of silver trees that whispered secrets to the wind. The island itself was a realm unto its own, where the sky danced with threads of gold and silver, and the air sparkled with the taste of starlight. Here, beneath the canopy of interwoven branches, they encountered the Lady of Twilight, a being of ethereal beauty, her presence a convergence of dusk and dawn. Her eyes were pools of midnight, her voice a melody of the spheres. "You seek to restore what was broken," she mused, her gaze piercing and kind. "Yet to mend the fractured stone, one must first mend the fracture within their soul." The lady's words weighed heavily upon Elara, and she realized that the trials ahead were not just of the world, but of the heart. Together, she and her companions embarked on a journey of introspection, each confronting their inner shadows and doubts. Arion faced the sorrow of a homeland lost to time, his music a bridge between past and present. Lyra grappled with the duality of her nature, her illusions a reflection of the truths she hid. Kael confronted the ghosts of battles past, his blade a symbol of protection and penance. Elara, guided by the scepter's song, delved into the depths of her own heart, where the fear of failure and the weight of destiny coiled like serpents. Yet, with each step, she wove her fears into strength, binding her spirit to the light of the scepter. As they emerged from their trials, the Lady of Twilight bestowed upon them a blessing, a fragment of the celestial harmony that would heal the stone. With newfound resolve, they returned to Solstice Keep, their journey culminating in the chamber of the Solstice Stone. There, as the stone's fractured light embraced the blessing, a radiant harmony filled the air, a symphony that resonated through the keep and beyond, restoring balance to the realm. The shadows that had plagued the land receded, dissolved by the unity of celestial forces and the strength of the companions' hearts. Solstice Keep stood renewed, its light a beacon of hope for the ages to come. As the sun set upon their victory, Elara and her companions reflected on the journey, a tapestry of trials and triumphs, woven with threads of courage and camaraderie. With the solstice stone restored, their quest continued, the horizon beckoning with promises untold, a journey not just of place, but of spirit, where the echoes of destiny sang of adventures, yet to unfurl beneath the ever-turning skies of Eldoria. Heart as the sun cast its golden farewell over the solstice keep, Elara and her companions found themselves drawn northward, guided by the whispers of the Starfire Scepter and the ever-present pull of destiny. Their journey led them away from the familiar lands of Eldoria and toward the forgotten reaches of the realm of memory, a place woven from the threads of time and dreams. The path was one of contrasts, rivers that glowed with the luminescence of captured stars, meadows alive with the songs of creatures unseen. Yet as they ventured deeper into this mystical land, a sense of unease grew, a whisper in the wind, a chill beneath the sunlit canopy. It was Lyra who first felt the disturbance, her senses attuned to the subtleties of the world. "Something stirs in the shadows," she murmured, her eyes scanning the horizon with a keen intensity. The realm of memory was a place known to few, and spoken of only in the hushed tones of legend. It was said that here the past held sway, and the dreams of ancient times came to life in the dance of shadows and light. Elara felt the scepter's fragment hum with a resonance that mirrored her own heartbeat, a reminder that here, more than ever, their choices would shape the unfolding story. Their journey led them to the Vale of Echoes, a place where the air shimmered with the murmurs of ages past. Stone archways and columned halls rose from the earth, remnants of a civilization lost to the sands of time. It was here, amidst the echoes of bygone glories, that their path intersected with a new companion. Emerging from the depths of the vale was a woman, her presence a tapestry woven from twilight and dawn. Her hair was a cascade of silver, her eyes pools of midnight starlight. In her aura there was an air of both melancholy and resolve, a being out of time, bound to the realm's mysteries. She introduced herself as Isolde, keeper of memories, a guardian of the stories etched into the very fabric of the realm. The realm of memory has called you, Isolde told them, her voice a harmonious echo. For here the past seeks to awaken, and the future to be forged anew. Yet beware, for the realm's magic is both boon and bane. Elara felt the weight of Isolde's words settle over her, the scepter's pull a constant reminder of their purpose. We seek the source of the disturbance, she replied. The balance of our world depends on it. Isolde nodded, her expression one of understanding and caution. Then you must journey to the heart of memory, where the threads of time entwine. There you will find both the answer you seek and the challenge you must overcome. Their course set, the companions followed Isolde through the vale, their footsteps echoing in the hallowed halls of stone. The way was marked by visions of the past, glimpses of lives once lived, dreams once dreamed, each vision a reminder of the realm's power and the fragility of memory. As they approached the heart of memory, the air grew thick with magic, each breath a symphony of forgotten songs and whispered secrets. The heart itself was a grand chamber, its walls adorned with tapestries that danced with the light of captured stars. In its center stood a crystal obelisk, its surface aglow with the essence of time. Here the companions faced their greatest trial yet. The obelisk, a vessel of memory's magic, was both a guardian and a challenge. To unlock its secrets, they would need to confront the shadows of their own pasts, fears and regrets given form, phantoms of doubts left unspoken. Kael was first, stepping forward with a warrior's resolve. The memory that unfolded was one of battle and loss, ghosts of comrades who had fallen by his side. Yet, as he faced his past, Kael found strength in the knowledge that their sacrifices had not been in vain, that their stories lived on in the hope of the future. Lyra followed, her illusions peeling back, to reveal the duality of her existence, the dance between light and shadow, truth and deception. But in facing her own reflection, she found clarity, a purpose born from both her past and the possibilities of tomorrow. Arion's trial was one of melody, the echoes of a homeland lost to time, and the yearning for a song yet unsung. As he faced the music of his soul, he wove a new harmony, a bridge between the past and the present. Finally, Elara approached the obelisk, the Starfire Scepter's light intertwining with the chamber's glow. Her memories were a tapestry of fear and hope, dreams of a land reborn intertwining with the shadows of doubt. Yet, as she faced her own heart, Elara found strength in the journey she had undertaken, in the bonds forged and the fires kindled. With each trial overcome, the obelisk resonated with a harmonious light, revealing the truth of the disturbance. It was not a force from without, but a rift born from forgotten dreams and untold stories, a plea from the past for remembrance and reconciliation. As the obelisk's light enveloped them, the companions stood united, each a guardian of both memory and hope. The realm's magic, once fractured, began to heal, its song a chorus of renewal and unity. Isolde, with a smile that spoke of gratitude and farewell, guided them from the heart of memory. "The past is but a thread in the tapestry of life," she said, her voice a gentle benediction. "You have woven new patterns, one of hope and harmony." With the disturbance quelled and the realm's balance restored, the companions departed the Vale of Echoes, their hearts alight with the promise of new adventures. Yet, as they emerged into the world beyond, the scepter's song remained, a reminder that their journey was not yet complete. The horizon beckoned with tales untold and dreams yet to be realized, and Elara knew that the echoes of their journey would resound through the ages, a testament to the power of memory and the enduring spirit of Eldoria. Part beneath a sky speckled with the dust of countless stars, the sea stretched before Elara and her companions, an endless expanse of undulating silver and shadow, its waves whispering secrets in the language of tides and dreams. The Starfire Scepter, now a beacon of unified power, guided them to these waters, where the horizon met infinity. They stood upon the deck of the Arion, a ship crafted from the heartwood of the world's first tree, its sails woven from the threads of dawn's first light. It was a vessel of legend, entrusted to them by the seafaring mystics of Alaris, who claimed the stars had foretold their journey. As the ship cut through the waves, Elara felt a pull, a call from the depths that resonated with the scepter's song. It was a summons both primal and profound, a reminder that the sea, like the sky, was vast and filled with wonders waiting to be discovered. Their destination lay beyond the known charts, whispered of in the tales of old mariners lost to the mists of time, a place called the Sea of Starfire. Here, it was said, the waters glowed with the light of fallen stars, and the boundary between realms thinned to a veil of gossamer light. The first sign of their arrival was the illumination, a faint glow that kissed the horizon, growing brighter as they sailed deeper into the sea's embrace. The water itself transformed, aglow with a luminescence that pulsed in time with the beat of the universe, turning the sea into a mirror of the cosmos. Yet with beauty came peril. The Sea of Starfire was home to the Leviathans, ancient guardians of the deep, whose presence was both majestic and foreboding. As shadows stirred beneath the glowing waves, the companions prepared for whatever challenges awaited them. Kael, ever vigilant, stood at the prow, his eyes scanning the waters with a warrior's gaze. "There's movement below," he murmured, his voice carried by the wind. Arion, his music a thread of calm amidst the tension, began to play a melody, a song woven from the notes of the sea itself, a lullaby to soothe the restless guardians. The air vibrated with magic, the notes reaching into the depths where the Leviathans dwelled. From below, a shape rose, a being of immense size and ancient grace, its scales reflecting the sea's luminescence. It was the first of the Leviathans, its eyes like twin moons, wise and watchful. The creature's voice was a deep rumble, resonating through the ship and the sea. "Travelers of the stars, why do you seek the heart of our domain?" Elara stepped forward, her hand resting on the scepter, whose light mirrored the glow of the sea. "We seek the convergence, a place where the sky meets the sea, and the magic of the world is woven anew." The Leviathan regarded her with eyes that seemed to pierce through to her soul. as if weighing the truth of her words. Then, with a nod that sent ripples through the water, it spoke again. The convergence lies within the veil of stars, but to reach it, you must prove your worth. Guided by the Leviathan, the Elarian sailed deeper into the sea, the glow intensifying until the very air shimmered with stardust. Here, they faced the trial of the stars, a challenge that tested not only their strength, but the unity and purity of their intentions. The sea rose around them, forming illusions that danced on the surface. Visions of desires unspoken, fears unacknowledged. Each companion faced their reflection, a moment of vulnerability where the essence of their hearts was laid bare. Lyra saw herself amidst the illusions, her form split between shadow and light. Yet in embracing both, she found harmony, a balance that transcended duality. Kael, confronted by the specters of battles past, understood that his true strength lay not in his sword, but in the courage of his heart. Arion's trial was a song unsung, the melody of his soul seeking completion. In facing it, he discovered that his music was a bridge, a connection between worlds and hearts. For Elara, the illusion was a world renewed, but the shadows of doubt whispered of unworthiness. Yet with the scepter in hand, she realized that her journey had already woven a tapestry of hope, and her worth was proven with each step taken, each bond forged. With the trial overcome, the veil parted, revealing the convergence, a place where the sea met the sky in an embrace of light and energy. Here, the scepter's power resonated with the pulse of the world, a song of creation that echoed through the fabric of reality. The Leviathans, guardians and guides, watched as the companions set foot upon the convergence. In this sacred space, the Starfire Scepter became a conduit, a channel through which the magic of the sea and sky flowed, harmonizing into a single, radiant note. As the convergence's light enveloped them, Elara felt the world shift, a transformation that renewed the very essence of magic. The sea's luminescence pulsed with newfound vigor, a beacon across time and space, heralding the dawn of a new era. With their task complete, the companions returned to the Elarion, the sea and sky reflecting their triumph in shades of silver and gold. The Leviathans, their duty fulfilled, bid them farewell with a profound bow, vanishing into the depths from whence they came. As the ship sailed the currents of the glistening sea, Elara stood at the helm, her heart intertwined with the song of the world, a melody of starfire and hope, carrying them ever onward. And so, beneath the tapestry of the cosmos, their journey continued, a promise of adventures yet to unfold, where the echoes of destiny sang through the waves, guiding them to horizons beyond imagining. And the journey across the sea of Starfire, with its luminescent waves and celestial vistas, had imbued the companions with a sense of wonder and renewal. Yet, as the horizon unfolded before them, a new call resonated, a song carried on the wind that whispered of realms yet undiscovered. Guided by the scepter's gentle hum, they sailed toward the celestial nexus, where the tapestry of magic was woven with threads of starlight and shadow. It was a place spoken of in hushed tones by the mystics of Eldoria, a realm where the boundaries between reality and myth dissolved into an intricate dance of light and creation. As the Elarion approached the edge of this mystical domain, the very air shimmered with an iridescent glow, enveloping them in a kaleidoscope of colors that shifted with each breath. The sea gave way to ethereal mists, where the landscape seemed both timeless and ephemeral, as if born from the dreams of the cosmos itself. In this enchanted realm, they were greeted by an unexpected ally, a being of luminescence and shadow, whose form seemed to flow seamlessly between the two. She introduced herself as Astraea, an emissary of the Nexus, her presence a harmony of light and void. "Welcome, travelers of the Starfire," Astraea greeted, her voice a melodic echo that resonated with the Scepter's song. "You stand at the threshold of the Nexus, where the universe's secrets are both revealed and guarded." Elara, her heart alight with the Scepter's energy, stepped forward. "We seek to understand the deeper magic of the world, to ensure the balance we have fought to protect." Astraea's gaze was both knowing and kind, her eyes reflecting galaxies yet to be explored. "Then you must partake in the rite of illumination, a journey through the paths of the Nexus, where your understanding will be tested and your true purpose revealed." The companions shared a look of determination, their resolve woven from the trials they had overcome. With Astraea as their guide, they embarked on a path that wound through the heart of the Nexus, a labyrinth of crystalline corridors and vaulted chambers filled with the hum of celestial energy. Each chamber was a world unto itself, a manifestation of the universe's myriad facets. In one, they encountered the Chamber of Echoes, where the past resided as a living memory, its stories unfolding in shimmering threads of light. Here, they saw the beginnings of Eldoria, the birth of the Starfire Scepter, and the legacy of those who had come before. In another, the Chamber of Reflection, they faced visages of themselves, not as they were, but as they could be. Elara saw a vision of herself, a guardian of the light, her heart intertwined with the Scepter's song, a future where the world thrived in the balance she helped to forge. As they traversed the pathways, they were joined by beings of starlight and shadow, echoes of the Nexus's magic given form. These guardians watched with eyes that held the wisdom of ages, their presence both a comfort and a challenge. Yet, the rite of illumination was not without its trials. In the Chamber of Shadows, they confronted the darkness within, the fears and doubts that lingered in the recesses of their hearts. But, with the bond they had forged, and the strength of their shared purpose, they emerged triumphant, their spirits burnished by truth and unity. The final chamber, the Chamber of Harmony, was a symphony of light and sound, where the threads of magic wove a tapestry of existence itself. It was here that Astraea revealed the heart of the Nexus, a core of radiant energy, the source of the world's magic, intertwined with the cosmos. Elara approached the core, the scepter in hand, its light a beacon that resonated with the core's pulse. In this place of convergence, she felt the weight of the universe settle upon her, a reminder of the responsibilities that came with power and the promise of what could be achieved. As the core's energy enveloped her, Elara glimpsed a future where Eldoria thrived. The balance of magic harmonized with the world's heartbeat. The vision was both humbling and inspiring, a testament to the journey they had embarked upon and the possibilities that lay ahead. With the rite of illumination complete, the companions emerged from the Nexus, their hearts attuned to the universe's song. Astraea bid them farewell with a blessing, a promise that the light they carried would guide them through the shadows yet to come. As the Elarion sailed from the celestial Nexus, the companions felt a sense of completeness, a unity woven from the threads of their journey and the magic they had come to understand. The horizon was filled with the promise of new adventures, the echoes of their journey a melody that resonated through the fabric of time. And so, beneath the tapestry of the cosmos, Elara and her companions continued their journey, a beacon of hope and harmony, where the echoes of destiny sang through the stars, guiding them to horizons beyond imagining. The journey from the celestial nexus had left Elara and her companions with a profound sense of purpose, their spirits buoyed by the knowledge and magic they had gleaned. Yet the call of the Starfire Scepter was unceasing, drawing them toward the distant shores of the Elysian archipelago, where legends spoke of an ancient oracle who dwelled at the confluence of the sea and sky. The Elysian archipelago was a place of wonder, where lush islands floated like emerald jewels upon the azure expanse. Each isle was a world unto itself, brimming with vibrant flora and fauna that thrived in the embrace of magic both wild and harmonious. As the Elarian navigated the crystalline waters, the air was alive with the songs of exotic birds and the fragrant whisper of blooms that blazed with color. Yet beneath the surface, the sea held secrets, currents that murmured of mysteries waiting to be unraveled. Their destination was the Isle of Echoing Waves, where the Oracle of Tides was said to reside. It was a place sacred to the tides, where the sea kissed the sky with every ebb and flow. The island loomed on the horizon, shrouded in mists that danced with spectral light. Upon reaching the shore, they were greeted by a figure whose presence was both ethereal and eternal, a woman with hair like cascading waves and eyes that mirrored the ocean's depths. She was Amara, the oracle, keeper of the tide's wisdom and the voice of the sea's many secrets. "Welcome, bearers of the Starfire," Amara intoned, her voice a melodic current that swept over them. "The tides have whispered of your coming, and the sea holds answers to the questions that linger in your hearts." Elara, the scepter's light a soft glow at her side, stepped forward. "We seek to understand the true scope of the scepter's power and the balance it must maintain." Amara regarded them with a gaze that seemed to pierce through the veils of time. "To understand, you must witness the dance of tides, a ritual as old as the world itself, where the past, present, and future converge in the embrace of the sea." Guided by Amara, the companions ventured deeper into the island's heart, where a hidden cove awaited. The cove was a sanctuary of serenity, its waters reflecting the sky in a perfect mirror, its shores lined with stones that sang with the tide's rhythm. As twilight descended, the dance of tides began, a spectacle of light and shadow, where the sea and sky wove together in a dance of creation and dissolution. The companions watched in awe as visions emerged from the water's surface, weaving a tapestry of the world's story. In the reflections, they saw the birth of stars and the formation of worlds. A cosmic dance echoed in the ebb and flow of the tides. They witnessed the rise and fall of empires, the growth of forests from seeds, and the passage of time as a river flowing toward eternity. But amid these grand visions, there were personal revelations, echoes of their own journeys, choices made, and paths yet to be traveled. For Kael, it was the legacy of a protector, his blade a beacon of justice and mercy. For Lyra, it was the duality of her existence, and the harmony she had found within. Arion saw the music yet to be composed, a symphony that would unite hearts and worlds. For Elara, the vision was of the Starfire Scepter, a vessel of power and promise, bound to her destiny. She saw the path she had walked, the choices made, and the future that waited, a world renewed, its balance maintained by those who dared to dream and fight for it. As the dance of tides reached its crescendo, Amara's voice rose above the symphony, a clarion call that echoed through the cove. The scepter is a mirror to the world's soul, a guardian of the between. Its power is guided by the heart of its bearer and the light of their resolve. With the final notes of the dance fading into the night, Elara felt a deep sense of connection, a bond not only to the scepter, but to the world it safeguarded. The revelations of the cove had illuminated her path, the questions of her heart answered by the sea's eternal wisdom. Amara approached, her presence a calming tide. The journey you embarked upon is one of many echoes. The scepter's role is not to bind, but to guide, ensuring that the world's song remains harmonious and whole. With gratitude in their hearts, the companions took their leave of the Isle of Echoing Waves. The oracle's words, a guiding star in the tapestry of their journey. The sea, ever watchful, whispered farewells in waves that kissed the Elarian's hull as the ship sailed into dawn's embrace. As the horizon unfolded before them, Elara and her companions carried the light of the Starfire Scepter within, a beacon of hope and unity, a reminder that the world's magic was a song of endless potential, and their journey a symphony that would echo through the ages.